Welcome to the Totally Honest Cooking Show where anyone can cook. I'm Mark. Today we are doing stuffed acorn squash. And we're going to do that by frying up a sausage mixture and roasting some eggplants and then putting it all in the cavity. So let's get started. I'm going to start by cutting down 2 apples. I've already got 8 ounces of mushrooms sliced and a whole yellow onion diced and about 4 cloves of garlic sliced. So let's get to it. I'm going to start by cutting up 2 apples. This is an optional step. I have a glut of apples still, and I'm trying not to make another crisp because the holidays are here and it will be time to do the holiday episode soon. You could, of course, peel the apple. I'm not gonna, because I'm lazy. And also, I don't mind the taste of peel. I prefer all peels most of the time. If this shocks you, so be it. Okay, once you're done dicing up that apple, we're gonna cut a lemon in half. This lemon was chilling out in the fridge. I think it's still good. And we're just going to squeeze the lemon juice right on top of the apples in hopes that that will help stop browning, make it pretty. Okay. Now that most of the prep work is done, we're going to take care of our squash. I've got my vegetable cleaver out and I've rinsed these thoroughly because I'm going to be serving out of them. And we're just going to cut straight down. You may have to put your weight into it. A sturdy blade is good for this. And it'll go right through. There are some other tricks to it. Try to get it as in half as you can. You can't always. And again, go right along the seam. You might have to wiggle the blade a little bit to get it in there. And there we go. Beautiful. Now, just like when you were pumpkin carving when you were a kid, you're scooping out the innards. If you're really gung-ho about saving, you can roast these seeds like pumpkin seeds with salt and stuff like that. I'm not gonna do it. And this will be a cavity for our stuffing later. You do want bigger acorn squash for this adventure. I do these in 2s. There's no reason that you can't do it in 4s if you had a second roasting pan. This is one of those recipes that you can serve company if you got guests, because it looks pretty. It's all fancy because you're using the squash to hold other things. But yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't say at the top. Preheat your oven 400 degrees. While the oven is preheating, I'm going to start preparing my sausages. Now these are hot Italian sausages. Normally, when I make things like this, I prefer the flats of sausage that aren't cased. You should get those. I got these because they were out of the other ones. Were the week after Thanksgiving, and that's why. You can use these, just remove the casings and you could cut them up while they cook, or you can do what I'm about to try. I've never done it this way before, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'm removing the casings and then I'm going to mash it all together and make my own flat of sausage. The reason I'm doing that is because it breaks up much better when it's not in this processed pre-made shape that it's used to being in. So it's harder to, it can be difficult to break it up sometimes. We're also going to go for some fall spices. You could go a couple different ways on this. Whatever spices you like, put in it. It'll be good, I promise. I was thinking Italian style because I like Italian style, but we're going to go with allspice and cinnamon and some nutmeg. Kind of a fall pie kind of thing. There we go. That looks like sausage now. Ovens, this my big pan on medium heat. And while that's going, we're gonna prep. We're just drizzling extra virgin olive oil around these. Once you've done that, sprinkling of salt. Now we're gonna give her a rub. You could also add black pepper here. I'm not going to because it'll go into the filling. And you probably don't need to rub the outsides, but I always do. And now we're gonna put this into our preheated oven for half an hour or 45 minutes or until these are pierceable with a fork. And while that's going, we're gonna throw our sausage in the pan. I'm gonna cook this up and then I'll be back to do the rest of the accoutrements. The sausage is most of the way there. I'm gonna go ahead and add the onion. That's a full yellow onion. I'm also gonna add my apple at this point because they seem like they're related. I don't know. We'll let those cook up for a little bit and then we'll add our mushrooms. While that's going, we're going to go ahead and start making our spice blend. So we're going to go ahead, we've got some cloves there. I'm going to add in a ½ teaspoon of allspice. I'm going to add in a teaspoon of allspice. We'll say ½ teaspoon of cinnamon. And we'll aim for a teaspoon of fresh nutmeg. Yep. Teaspoon of nutmeg. This is cooking up well. We're gonna go ahead and add the mushrooms to the mix, along with another big pinch of salt. We're gonna try to get the mushrooms all coated in the fat, which should help them cook up faster. Once the mushrooms have cooked up, we're gonna start adding everything else. Should be done pretty quickly after that. Okay, it's by no means done, but they've gotten to cook down a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and add the garlic. That was 4 cloves sliced because I love me some garlic, and our spice mixture. It's not going to be overpowering. It should just enhance the natural flavors that are already here, but you don't want something overpowering because in order to get overpowering for something like this hot sausage that I'm using, it's going to be ridiculously strong to do that, and I'm not doing that. We're going to add a handful of raisins because I have all these raisins. Since it's a fall dish, sometimes I use craisins. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some spinach. If you watch a lot of this show, you'll know that I like mushrooms and spinach together. If you have the more standard flats of sausage, you can also drain off the fat there. I probably could have, but I used so much olive oil at the beginning that it just seemed like I'd have to just add more fat if I got rid of the fat, so I didn't. This is about 5 ounces of spinach. You can already see this is going to be too much stuffing for what I'm doing. You can serve this later with rice or egg noodles or something like that, and it'll be a treat. It'll be great. Delicioso. All those things. Okay. I will be back once this cooks down, and by then our squash might even be done. Okay, I'm going to kill the heat on this. I've tasted it. It's good. We'll flip these over. These feel good. Yeah, those are good. Oops. I forgot to add the chopped walnuts. That's a whoopsie doodle. We'll add a big handful and a half of chopped walnuts. Like I said before, all of the toppings for these are whatever you want them to be. You could go with pretty much whatever. If you don't want to use sausage, use ground beef. If you don't want to use ground beef, you can probably just mix up a bunch of vegetables and do it that way. So we're just gonna, your goal is to fill the cap. You will have stuffing left over regardless. Like I said, just mix it with some pasta or some rice, it'll be fine. Now you see why you needed the bigger acorn squash though, right? And now for our secret weapon. Parmesan cheese. Freshly grated. Remember, we don't truck with that pre-shredded stuff. Get it out of here. That pre-shredded stuff doesn't melt as well. We're gonna stick this back in the oven for about 5 minutes. Maybe a little more. Depends on how quickly it chars. 5 minutes later and we're ready to pull it out and serve. Okay, and to serve, we just take it, we put it here. If you wanted to, you can put some rice along with it. It does look a little bit lonely in there like this. The rice would go there, or noodles or something. I'm not going to do that because this is a huge slice of acorn squash with a lot of sausage and a lot of other stuff. And look at that. Okay, me and the squash got to go have some alone time together. Like, subscribe, click the little bell. Remember, anyone can cook, especially you. See you next Wednesday.